iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. To show the love.
Welcome back to The Pivot with Stephanie Humphrey. Black Lives Matter Plaza, White House in the background, a place where a lot of decisions are getting made right now about the future of this country, our money, defense, civil rights, justice, everything. A lot of uncertainty floating around all of the decisions that we make on a daily basis. And especially if you're looking to pivot, you might not be so sure about whether or not the choices you're making are the right ones for you at the time. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Uncertainty, imposter syndrome. Is this what I really should be doing? I have a little bit of uncertainty around this very show, if I can be honest with you. I wasn't sure I wanted to be so vulnerable, but Roland said people need to know, and so I am here to help the people. We have Dr. Brandi Baldwin as our guest today. She is the CEO of Millennial Ventures and a leadership, diversity, equity, inclusion expert, and she's going to help us understand how to deal with that uncertainty when it comes up in our lives and some tips on how to fight imposter syndrome. Stay tuned. We are talking uncertainty, y'all. I mean, can we really do this? Thanks so much for checking out The Pivot with Stephanie Humphrey. I am here with Dr. Brandi Baldwin, a dear friend and the CEO of Millennial Ventures, Inc. Is it Millennial Ventures Inc. or Millennial Ventures Inc.?
Yeah.
An author, a speaker, and an expert in leadership and diversity, equity, inclusion. Dr. Brandi, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Stephanie. Excited for our discussion.
Yeah, let's get into it. So we are talking uncertainty, those moments where you ain't even sure. You kind of like, I don't know. I thought I had this all locked in, but now things are feeling a little iffy.
Yes.
I'm sure we have all had those moments. I would love to hear you talk about a few of those moments in your life.
Absolutely. I think, one of the things that I've learned, and hindsight is always 2020, but, day in and day out, we all have this false sense of security. Technically, we don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, or the next week. But when we have this realization for things like COVID or things like that are happening in the economy, and when it hits us and it comes to our front door, a lot of times it shakes us and it makes us feel like we have less control, that things are more uncertain. But at the end of the day, they were always uncertain. The difference is we typically had a plan in place. And so for me, I think one of the things that I remember just disrupting my plan for myself was this idea, I'm a millennial. Mm-hmm. So, the millennial generation, we were told that you go to school, you get good grades, you're going to graduate, you're going to go to college, get a career. And,
we all got sold that bill of goods.
Right. We all got sold. And I'm like, I want a receipt because I had this idea of what my life would be, and that there was some certainty around, if you do this and you do that, you're guaranteed success. Mm-hmm. And so for me, almost 20 years ago now, coming out of college and realizing that, okay, wait, we're and recession's coming. I'm actually have a lot of degrees, but I am not feeling worthy. I'm not feeling really confident. The world is saying that I should be feeling successful, but inside I'm not. And so it's one of those things, particularly I think with high achievers. Like I'm a recovering overachiever and high achiever.
But are you recovering though? I mean, for real, like don't forget I know you. I'm like, are we recovering?
Okay, you know what? Truth be told,
let's just say
Stephanie
you're in
Humphrey,
recovery.
Here's the thing. I love that you pointed that out. I am high achieving with better motives. Before, I was high achieving because there was something that I was missing, because I didn't feel like I was worthy, because I felt like the degrees and the accolades and the awards and the accomplishments would actually build up my identity. Now I'm actually able to strive and able to achieve as a result of having a cohesive and fully formed and authentic identity. So rather than me doing the things to build up my identity, I had to get my identity tight. Now I'm able to do the things I always wanted to do. So it's the motive that's different, not the outcome.
I love it. I love it. You just said a whole word right there. Listen, you got to already know who you are, or all of that other extra stuff ain't going to make a bit of difference. It is not going to change who you are on the inside if you haven't already done that inner work. And I think that's where a lot of the uncertainty can come from, is when you don't have that, you're not grounded in a stable sense of self. You know, when you're like, when there's that inner turmoil, that manifests itself into, well, I don't know if this is going to work out, because you don't know if you're good enough to make it work out. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get this gig, or I don't know if this business is going to fail or not, because you still don't know if the vision is solid. You know, was this plan even the plan I was supposed to have in the first place? You know, has my mindset been on the right things and focused on the right things? So all of that uncertainty really starts on the inside, and if I'm hearing you correctly, and kind of manifests in, oh, well, the economy is bad right now, so maybe this might not be the best time for me to do this, or COVID got me all jammed up, so that's why I didn't succeed at this thing. Like, it ain't necessarily those external factors, you know what I mean? It was what was happening. I mean, now don't get me wrong, like, if the stock market crashes and you lose all your money, you know, things might go left. However, I think by and large, if the inside ain't right, you know what Lauren say? How you gonna win if you ain't right within?
Not a bar. That's a whole bar right there.
She said it. We should have been listening. We hear you, Miss Lauren. We hear you.
That was on the first real album. Come on now. But you know what? One of the things to what you're saying is, you know, part of it is this idea. People have to understand that either you trust that everything's going to be okay, that you trust that you can figure it out, that everything's figure outable. We're all having different experiences. And this is what threw me off and it helped me to get a light bulb moment. It was that in this space and in this place with whatever, maybe it may be inflation, it may be, for me, it was during COVID-19, where I really realized that different people were having totally different experiences with the same circumstances. You know, a lot of times we say, and of course, some people had different starts and they were already at a certain place, maybe before COVID-19, whether it's with business or their mental health or whatever. Right. But I saw people that actually were down in the game. Like it was halftime and they did not look like they were winning. But through COVID-19, they actually came back. They did some things that helped their outcomes to be different. And so at any time in our lives, we have to realize that someone else is experiencing something similar to us.
That's right.
Maybe not identical, but they're having exact different or more positive outcomes. And it's the lens that we're looking at things. I think with that insecurity piece, with that uncertainty piece, there's a lot that's uncertain for all of us. But what lens am I going to choose to look through in order to help me get to the next step? What truth am I going to adopt that is going to serve me, rather than a truth, really a lie, right, that I'm going to adopt that's not going to serve me? And so, not to get too woo-woo, but it all starts here. You're absolutely right. Yep.
It's the perspective. Like, what perspective are you choosing today? Are you going to choose to believe that you can't do something because, you know, we are in a bear market right now, or, you know, whatever the case may be? Or are you going to choose to believe that you are worthy and valuable and things like that?
Love our new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
Yeah, Alexa.
Buick.
Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa. It's a Buick. It's an Alexa. Coach, that's a Buick. That's an Alexa.
The Buick Enclave with available Alexa built in.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years.
I thought new phones were for new customers.
We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
Don't you think it's time to get wealthy? I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show on the Black Star Network focuses on the things your financial advisor or bank isn't telling you. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi for lunch yesterday.
How about tacos?
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the lie we tell ourselves, because that leads me to my next question. You are a hella dynamic speaker, and you talk a lot in your talks about the idea of perfection. Tell us what that is, how that manifested in your life, and what you did to work through that.
Yes. So I always tell the story that I was born in this single parent household, got some Caribbean and Jamaican in my family. Everything can be fixed with the Lord and school, like education and the Lord. That's all you need in life,
That's all you need.
That's all you need, and you'll be fine, So I was raised to kind of achieve, be a straight A student. I was on the track. I was in the orchestra. I did that, student government president. Like, watch out now. This is before 18.
Mm-hmm.
And I did all of these things. I went and got a degree in psychology and a master's in organizational development and a degree, a PhD in educational leadership before the age of 30, and still felt empty.
Wow.
And I thought, I played by the rules, and I don't know who made these rules up, but while everyone else thinks I'm successful, I really feel empty. I really have low self-esteem. I really am struggling with imposter syndrome. And so I had to say, what is it? Because I've done all that you can do.
Right. And I got the receipts.
And got the receipts, baby. And I'm the real deal. But inside, it just wasn't fulfilling me at all. And I actually felt more empty than I ever felt. And I realized, and I had to have kind of a come to Jesus moment with myself. Have you ever just, had to talk to yourself?
That's right.
I.e. curse myself out. And I realized that I was fake. I actually loved the idea that my friends would introduce me as, oh, this is my friend Brandi. She's getting her PhD. I love that. That started to become part of my identity. I love the fact that everyone called me for advice. I was the resource and I was the go-to, even despite the fact that when I needed a resource to go to, I couldn't find anybody in my phone book that I trusted with my deepest, darkest secrets. Right? I had to realize that I created a life for myself where, because I was so insecure, I was an insecure high achiever, which is such an oxymoron. But I created a life for myself where everything around me built my identity up and tried to fill my bucket of insecurity, which had a hole at the bottom. And so I had to take responsibility for the fact that I was fake. I was phony. I kept people around me that probably wouldn't like me if I was the real Brandi. I kept people around me that I really didn't like, but because they fulfilled something for me. And so I call it perfection. Right. And I tell people, with my degree in psychology, I can make up and coin stuff.
That's right.
And I'm going to do it. Okay. And it's this thing that we do, particularly women, I think more so than men, where we pretend like things are perfect on the outside, but we're really faking it. And we all do it for each other. And so what I realized was, I'm actually going to be courageous enough to be my real self. And when I did that, I actually was rejected by the fake people that I had around me that really didn't like the new me. I actually lost relationships. I actually went through a divorce. I actually decided to be okay that in this life, the one life that I have, I'm with the uncertainty, with what I don't know that's going to happen tomorrow. One thing I do know is I'm going to be real. And I'm going to not be so thin-skinned and so fragile about people who, if they're right not to, I may not be their cup of tea. That's okay for me. And it started with family. It
Right.
started with, I mean, and it's tough.
Don't it always start there though?
Don't it always?
Listen, sometimes some hard decisions got to be made and some hard conversations have to be made with people that are the closest to you, about how things are going to work and the boundaries that need to get set and all of that.
And they expect us to show up in a certain way. And so I said, rather than me, because here's the thing, I was a different person around different people. Oh, when I'm around certain family members, I reverted back to little old Brand. Then when I'm in certain groups, and I'm Dr. Brandi Baldwin. And then when I'm in another group, and I was like, look.
And that's not sustainable. That'll drive you crazy. You got split personalities, and that just contributes to the uncertainty because you don't really know who you are, and you have to be all these different things to all these different people. How can you ever be sure that you actually have what it takes to achieve that vision or to do whatever it is you set out to do?
Yep. And it's during the quiet times. I was so all over the place with expectations and trying to keep up with everything that I only was happy by myself. I was like, I just want to be by myself. I don't really want to be around people. I was like,
I'm not mad at that, to be
right.
low key.
I still love some quiet time, some me time.
Right.
But I think that, for anyone that's struggling right now with getting back on track, trying to find their footing post-COVID, we got the great resignation going on. We have a lot of people are making some life-changing decisions.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're making the life-changing decisions for the betterment of your future. I had this moment where I thought, not to be morbid, but I pictured myself at the funeral and I said, yo, all these fake people going to show up to my funeral and fake act like they were supportive and fake pretend like, I'm so great, but I know the true story of how.
And they wouldn't even be able to tell a true story about who you were because they don't even know.
Right. It's like everyone's giving false accounts of the false life that I lived. How whack is that? And it was me saying, okay, I don't necessarily have a model for what this looks like, but I'm going to do it myself. And this is a game changer though, Steph. And you know this because we talked about just coming into our own and as we grow into our just the greatness of who we are and what we were called to do. Right. But it's amazing how opportunities come to you. It's amazing how better friendships, better relationships come your way. It's like everything just moves out of the way and responds to your choosing and honoring yourself. I tell people I used to do small things that dishonored who I was, like sit all day at the computer and do work and not get up to use the bathroom and just relieve myself. Like not just get up to just eat a snack. But then I'm wondering why people disrespect me. I'm wondering why I'm frustrated with certain relationships. Well, you don't even honor yourself in the small ways.
That part.
And so how is anyone else going to honor you? I could talk all day, but
Girl.
I'm just saying.
Again, just a whole word. And it just speaks again to the fact that, we are all going to have those moments when we feel uncertain, when we feel, unworthy, where we don't know what's going to happen next. But a lot of alleviating that starts with the internal work and not looking at, waiting for outside conditions to change or get better or be perfect or, whatever, like the outside environment doesn't need to have as heavy an influence on how you move as people tend to give it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, when you change, the environment around you changes.
Amen. Change your energy. You change all the energy around you. Yes, that's physics. That's
exactly.
Physics.
That's like literally science. It's a universal principle and law that we can't break. It's as strong as gravity. It's like, wow. When you put on a different lens, I have like 15 different pairs of glasses, right? I think of life like, what lens am I choosing to put on and look through? How am I willing to look at this situation as an opportunity, even if it doesn't feel right? And the other thing is, talking about feelings real quick, we cannot live our life and make decisions and choices based on emotions. It's okay to be emotional. Now I be curled up in a fetal position once a month in my closet, booing and crying, Lord, right. And that's just the purge.
But then you blow your nose and wash your face and get back to business with some things that make sense.
That makes sense. I got a pros and cons list. I have my wise counsel. I'm gonna need to call Stephanie and say, hey, Steph, I'm thinking about da. That's when you have to be about your business, and your life is a business. Treat yourself and everything around you as serious as you would your business or your career. But we do certain things for our employer and for our 9 to 5 or for our business that we don't even do for ourselves. We have accountability and quality assurance and protocol and processes for our workflow, but you don't have that for your life flow. And so it's one of those things where your success, your freedom, your accomplishments is not only about you. When you do that thing, you're opening doors for family members, for friends, for your children, for others. So I got to be good. I have to be healthy.
Right.
My mental health has to be straight. And once I realized and kind of put myself on a pedestal, I saw a meme and it really summed up my life before I made this kind of decision and this shift and this pivot. And it said, we have to stop teaching our women to measure their strength based on how much toxicity and turmoil they can endure.
How much they can endure. Absolutely. Amen.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
And we do that all the time.
We do that.
I'm a strong woman. I'm a strong Black woman. I've been through it. I'm a ride or die. I don't want to die. I don't want to ride or die.
The ride, why does the ride have to include that?
Why can't I be a thrive and fly? You know what I mean? Instead of a ride or die. We're going to be a thrive and fly. Okay.
Hold on, Patti LaBelle. Hold on.
Yes. You don't have to always be suffering and sacrificing.
To measure your strength.
To measure your strength and to prove your worthiness to other people. I love that so much. And once you get clear on identity and get clear on how you can best take care of yourself, you find and get clear on the plan, you find that a lot of that uncertainty actually goes away. It's funny how that works, right?
It melts away. It melts away because you're not looking for things to be certain without, because you're certain within.
Amen.
You know that it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to show and be consistent. I have just a set of values and things that I do that it doesn't matter what the outside is. I know I'm not going to be flaky. But see, sometimes people know that they're flaky. They know that they're inconsistent. They know that they actually don't do certain things or haven't taken the time to develop certain habits and skills. And so they're nervous. So they need the outside environment to be perfect for the lack of preparation that they've done for their life. And so we have to figure that out and address that. With my kids, when they're small, I have to create an environment when they were very small that's conducive for them to be able to thrive and do things a certain way. I had to put the covers over the outlets. I had to put the thing on the steps so they wouldn't fall down the steps. After a while, we're going to take those guardrails off. And I can't guarantee that when they go to a family member's house that they're going to have certain guardrails or an environment that I have in my home. I can't guarantee when they go to school and when they go to this event. I can't guarantee that. But what I do guarantee is my kids know when to say no. They know how to remove themselves from bad situations. They know how to call for help. They know certain things within them that regardless of what the environment is going to help them to survive and thrive. And if people can do that for themselves, then they'll find that uncertainty melts away.
Absolutely. You get a level of certainty and peace that no outside external force can take away. That's so amazing. Dr. Brandi, where can people go to find out more information about you?
Absolutely. So you can find out what I'm up to at drbrandi.com. It's all spelled out, drbrandi.com, podcast, speaking engagements, everything. That's the main hub. And looking forward to connecting with folks that are listening to The Pivot.
Awesome. I love it. I love these interviews. I mean, y'all have all just been dropping gems and nuggets, and I am so grateful for you for being with me today here on The Pivot. Thank you, Dr. Brandi.
Thank you.
It is a scary world out there, y'all. There are a lot of things that we don't know. There are a lot of things to be uncertain about. And it's especially scary when you're trying to make a major transition or pivot in your life. I get it. I understand it. But the thing is, once you're a little more certain about who you are and a little more certain about why you want to pivot, it makes the uncertainty a little less. So that's what you want to do first. You want to know who you are, get grounded in your identity, number one. And number two, get very, very clear on your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to make this transition? Why do you even want to pivot? Why do you want to start that business or go back to school or change careers? Get very, very clear on your why, because when you have that internal certainty, a lot of that external uncertainty starts to go away. Also, start thinking about a plan. You don't have to have it all together just yet, and we're going to talk about plan in a future episode, but just start thinking about a plan to get prepared. Start writing some stuff down. Start, looking at it every day and just letting that sort of sink in and internalize inside you. That'll help with a little bit of that uncertainty as well. Sometimes, y'all, you're just going to have to do it scared. You're going to have to do it even when you don't know what's coming next. Even when you don't know what's just around that corner, even when you don't know if it's gonna work out. Sometimes you just have to do it anyway and step out there on faith, as they say. But also, a quick tech tip: when you're feeling especially uncertain and anxious, log off for a little while. Put that phone down for a little while. We tend to do what we call doom scrolling, where we sort of go down that social media rabbit hole, and that's just a good place where all the bad news gets aggregated together at the same time. So when you're feeling especially uncertain, when you're feeling especially anxious, take a little bit of a digital break and just put the phone down for a little while. This is Stephanie Humphrey, and you're watching The Pivot.